I've been having this recurring thought. So with this, maybe I should go back to my many tabs. With this analysis I've been doing of this, certainly not perfect and many mistakes along the way, and probably still. But still, like the mere fact that it really is a current is demonstrable. That caused all of this and throughout the continents is demonstrable. And what I've learned along the way is that as the current travels, it flows as a tube where another inner tube enters the tube as it travels to create a inner tube, and then as the tube with an inner tube travels, a new tube enters the inner tube, and so on to produce a certain sequence of things. And I was just sitting here thinking about the Emerald Tablet, and I keep coming back to this, like, this idea, essentially that there's ever smaller and ever larger particles that all function the same. And within that spectrum, we are composed of just one of them, like one range atoms, the hydrogen through whatever the upper limits of the periodic table seem to be. Interesting. What was I just gonna say? And so that causes us to see like the particles around us in a certain way, where when we look down through the layers at certain points, so like light is considered to be a wave particle, have wave particle duality. And somewhere along the way, I overheard in a lecture I was listening to the concept that X-ray particles, gamma ray photons, are very hard to see observationally as waves, but instead they're almost entirely observed as particulate in nature and as particles. And so, but whereas like radio waves, and I don't know where the cutoff is, maybe microwaves, are very difficult to see any particulate nature whatsoever. So as systems get smaller relatively, so like stars are big and spread out, and then planets are smaller and more per space, and then atoms are smaller and more per space, and so on. As things get smaller, they become more abundant, and relative to a certain range of particles which we all share, that we have agreed as a collective are atoms, because we all share those building blocks. Crazy, atoms as our building blocks in that way. I'm an atom. But because of that though, like it then creates how we see all the other particles. That's the key. It's not like an atom inherently. If we were composed of a smaller particle in that spectrum, what we see as an atom can be a star. And so what that means is there's this infinite spectrum that depends on the angle the observer is looking at it, but we all share the same angle of reality, where we're in the same reality. It's almost like a river coming out, flooding out into fanning out into 180 degrees even. Some just going but so basically I came at some point, at some point I came to a sort of conclusion that's not really, I haven't thought about since, but it's certainly not something that I'd say I'm absolutely certain about, but I feel pretty good about it. Like it seems to fit what I'm about to talk about. Is that there's sort of, so I've been talking about how there being like an anode and cathode in like places on Earth, like here, like anode, cathode, and then where the location where the mantle erupted out in all directions in a plane as what was I just talking about? What was I just saying? Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, anode cathode. Where this is like kind of like a cathode connection from the like the nucleus of the Earth, so like the core, a cathode connection to an anode of Mount Gurnar over here, which formed over here and connected through here energetically by I've talked about, and so it's like there's a balance point between the two. So like here, interestingly, here is what I believe to be where like the cathode is, like down under here is where that spiral system is. And then in the middle, even with an electrolyte, I realized yesterday, I don't know if seawater and whatever type of water and all the types of materials that are here are necessarily electrolyte like, but they do seem like, and even here, like there's an exchange between some barrier. Like here's the membrane, and the reason this is mounds is because there was an exchange from here to over here, or vice versa. But I think this way. I think from up here down here, from at least of gross dense particles, and then an exchange in the other way of subtle ethereal energy from the storm discharging here. So I believe that the balance point where how we see photons become waves is it's centered interestingly on the visible light spectrum. I wonder if I can find the talk. It was a I want to say it was just straight up a calculus physics, like a deep calculus physics one. Like he had a like clear screen to write on. There's no way I can find this. Not that quick. But he was the one also who was talking about. He was specifically that really brought this. I've talked about it before for sure and referenced it, but I can't off the top of my head right now. But essentially, that it's centered on the visible light spectrum where it goes from particles to waves and anode cathode, where there's a membrane that forms between the two anode and cathode. And if we look up here, I've talked about this before. The Himalayas are a cathode, which the anode energetically sends energy into, uplifting the mountains in a dendritic fashion into the cathode. Whereas there are voids into the anode, which move this way towards the anode of this just like low density region. And in between, interesting, is the Tibetan Plateau with water and electrolyte of some sort. I don't know if it's traditionally used as an electrolyte in this manner. Although it may contain minerals and things that make it more electrolyte-like. I'm just picturing streams going one way and the other, like on the sands, like when the beach sand has those just kind of like lines carved in them one way and the other because that current's flowing. And this also, by the way, if you look at this, you can see it right now. If you look at this, boom, 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 and then here, there's a right there. There's one of those things under here, and if we look at the map, here's the Himalayas. This is the Tibetan Plateau, so that's probably right here. Or even out to here. Out to here. Yeah, we can see it there. Right there. Interestingly, it's like a blue, like a low density. Oh, yeah. Yeah, low density. Huh. Water there. That makes sense. Where there's a depression, the water flows. Interesting. Maybe that's insightful to like healing, like life-wise. There's another one here. These are definitely circular. I know if you're like here, they kind of look just scattered, but they're even, these ones right here seem to have a similar color than like other ones. Like maybe the materials are related to which one of the, there's probably one here, like looks like there's just a bunch of them. That was pretty chaotic. Also seeing maybe a shallogram right there. That looks like a shallogram. Just like a straight up, like this kind, just from this, or that's not good. Just one of the bit more like this, more like this angle, but top down. So you're looking at both sides. Look basically like this side, with this from both sides. Right across here. Kind of like looking at that spiral sideways on, and then with like a, this also has a protrusion here too, and here we can see kind of a different there's polygons here. There's a polygon. We can even see the current flows. Whoa, the current flows. We can see the current. And it's doing a shallogram. Boom. 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 Dudes. Where am I at now? At the end of the Himalayas. At the end of the Himalayas, there's this. Wait, if that was shallogram things, let me go back. Going across here. This way. This way. This way. And then that means this is also the shallogram thing. We can even see the little, like, let me pull up a good example. I know I got one. For just the occasion. Not this one, but maybe this is a good starting point while I look. Just kind of let it hang out there. Kind of like that over here. Maybe I'll move it a little. Let me find something. Yeah, like it's almost like the end. So it's probably like this section, but with definition. Like definition of more like this. But this section of it, where we were looking at it this way, but without the opening. Where it's more, it didn't form like that. It was more like this. And then just like this section swings around and we see it here. Something like that. Okay, let me find a good one though. Oh, there's one. Okay, let me just go like this, since it just has like a gray and a black coloring to that portion that really gives definition to how it separates. Oh my god, maybe I can view extra large for now. Aren't these crazy? Okay, okay. There it is. There it is. Like that. It's like that kind of thing. Let's see if we can find even like a little lake there or something to suggestive of like that. I don't know. But if that's a shallow, I mean, that current flow is real clear now that I see it. It's straight up a current. Came in here, or here, I guess. I guess if someone wants to help, please, doctors. You know, or someone who knows, more ethereal heals. I probably just gotta fucking hug it out, honestly, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's my problem. My side of it. Um, I'm not helping. Just sit here looking at this map still. What was I talking about? Fuck this current. Oh yeah, I was kind of looking at that. Sorry, dudes. This might be there. Might be there. Like, that's probably that current coming in this way. And then maybe the shallogram. Maybe it just kind of overlaps with another one. Oh, if it comes in here and deflects like sideways, so it's like sideways, like more like this. But then this section is vibrating up and down. So it's causing the current to go this way and this way and this way and this way, and to ripple in two intermixing. Holy shit, dude. To make that shallogram type structure. So it's a vibrating bend. Like here. Like that's a vibrational structure right there. That's really just like a figure eight too, right across the Himalayas. Whoa, I wonder if it's dissected, like where they divide like a 0 to 1 and then divide it into a wave that's at the center and that does a single wavelength, or like up and down a single full wave. I think that's a wavelength. I'm freaking like, is that two wavelengths? Oh, they're the things that I don't like know for certain because I haven't like. It's come and it's gone. That's why it requires like holding it up to keep it stable, because I don't have like the surrounding like polygonal structure to hold up things like that, because I'm kind of lazy about things. Doesn't matter. I think I can just kind of casually know the concepts and not actually know like the precision of certain words like that. But are like, dude, what? Like it must be a full wavelength. Like that's a wavelength. Okay, we're literally looking up wavelength. After that discovery, we're looking up wavelength. Okay. It is from peak to peak, or whatever you want to say, from equivalent point to equivalent point. Okay, good. Full wavelength. Okay, that makes sense. Where were we? Okay, we see that a single full wavelength crosses here from the vibrational point here. Wing. Let's see exactly where it's vibrating. Probably right here, because of the way it just has even exactly again. And so it did it not just one, like so it has a full wavelength across, and maybe it even connects energetically to this point. Like it's all like the vibration is being like somehow held more steady by this point where it's the current's flowing into. So it's kind of this point is has all this stuff behind it that I guess is flowing out this way from this or from this direction more. The stuff flowing along here, along the continental shelf, where there's a boundary beforehand, is basically producing a wall, I guess. Like there's generally just a pressure here holding against that current so it doesn't just like keep pushing to kind of relieve the region's pressure. And it's here, and it basically produces some sort of like two people holding a rope and doing the waves along it. Like it takes, you can't do the waves along it with just one. I mean, it's kind of, but like so it has like a single wavelength between them, but then it has what's probably dissected in multiple times, like a double, like two wavelengths, like one, like this one is here, so maybe there's like a one that goes here ish, like that, maybe there, like right there. That kind of looks like it, maybe up to there. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that's a wavelength, but that's actually almost there though. Not quite there. And interesting. It's like it's got a wavelength and a bit, and like a little bit afterwards, which maybe is why there's this like nova center in that bit that kind of spirals out from it, because it wasn't stable there, because there was a wavelength being formed that was leaving this bit that then kept pushing out. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know. Or do I? Crazy. My dad mocks me. Nope, you all know shit, son. Y'all know shit, bro. We fucking with you still. We enjoy this as much as you do. Just fucking with you. Look at all the discoveries I'm making. He's he still doesn't get it, dude. You guys are just having a fucking ball with me. I don't know. It definitely looks. That's huge, right? Alone, just alone, that tidbit that this over here is not just like, it's not just like stably balanced, where the pressure this way and the pressure over here is just equilibrium. It's almost like it's some like this region here fills up and like pushes it up, and then the pressure here like swirls it out somewhere, maybe this way or something. Like causes the pressure building up here to just get swooped, like get out of here pressure, like a off gassed, some kind of gasket opening in the blockage here, where it just like, because it's been able to pressure up this far, the pressure from this current is just getting stronger and stronger. The more it impedes on the current, the more this current's pressure gets stronger and stronger, making this gasket below over here where this blowout valve has been just naturally formed, pretty much, I guess. And that in turn is leading to a vibrational state of the pivot point where this current is being trajectorially projected from to ripple through the Himalayas. Holy crap. Okay, I was thinking like some of these things. I've been kind of watching this. I was getting a little down on myself. I was watching some of the videos. Like, I don't think that was very good. What I just said. I thought these were just bomb when I was saying them. But this right here, like, okay, I feel good about this one. I can't wait to. This gave me a little boost. It's like the interesting, interesting. It's like I off gas too because I was trying to share with my parents and with meeting resistance. I was trying to push, like it's building pressure. I was like this, like all this inflow current of like, oh, all this new information, which builds pressure against the general like balance point where I'm like, like you guys should be more aware of what I'm saying, and they're like, nah, like no, like we can't, like they just can't, like all the reasons why we can't, and then psh, blows out, and then I just go kind of get a little like I don't know how to like the energy flow is like the energy's gone, like it was outgassed, but now this like current's coming back in. Now that the outgassing occurred, there's this like void waiting to be infilled with new information, and boom, voila, here we are. Sorry, mama. Mama, I love you. I didn't mean to yell or anything. Anyway, I really didn't even try to be really calm. It's like, okay, so this is instead of being like, which I'm just rude. I'm rude. That's part of the problem. Maybe this pivot point even goes all the way over here in another wavelength. I don't know. This is a good place to stop though because that was huge. Thanks, guys. Sorry for all my facial expressions. I really don't know how to behave. Like, nor do I. I'm so antisocial. Like normally, or at least I'd be like in my little zone in my little polygon world with my people, not like outgassing into the not causing a ruckus, not all this current flowing through the polygons of the way we structure ourselves. Like, here's me, here's you, here's like, but over here, some other people, and like, there's a separation between us, and I'm like, yo, guys, we need to mix, like, current flowing, just like, because I'm actually over in this polygon. I was just digging down, like, there's gotta be answers somewhere deep down. I just struck, like, keep digging, deep, dig, mantle. Outflow. Everyone's pushed away from me. Like, look at this. Facebook. It's kind of sad. I'm honestly, like, tearing up a little. Friends? 20 hours ago? Hello? 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 Just shoved away. Bigger systems remain in the outflow region. Maybe that's why big systems remain nearby, because they can handle the freaking torrents. Like more, and I don't mean that offensively. I just mean more aware of the things I'm talking about. Like literally, like at some point it becomes that we become more aware of things to the point where we become more massive systems that are more like in the way of currents. Like society wants to go this way. I'm like, nah, son. Unfortunately, when I go nah, son, it seems to do this. So maybe I need to say more this way, guys. Instead of the nah, son, which is more like this. I need to do more like North America or not United States. I noticed in one of the videos I was like, and then it flows into the United States. Down, no, it doesn't. Way down here, it flows into Canada, dude. I guess it does because it flows into Alaska. So maybe I can get away with it in some way by being technically kind of right, but it's just like a disrespect that I tend to do because of ignorance and like an imbalance. It's just an imbalance, really. I'd be happy to travel the world and become more acquainted with and balanced with every place and more, that's how I think would be. And do stuff in places that need done there and like be able to help in ways I can and be accepted for who I am, which is just me. It doesn't really matter. This is interesting. It seems to do maybe a figure eight. Maybe that's related to how figure eights are formed, where there's a current coming in this way. Like it wraps generally a main current. There's a main current here that's just going and going and going, maybe perpetually. That would be cool. And fed into by in a loop, fed into by some like ether fuel that just drives the current continuously, and then we have some like adjacent just thing set up to create a current here, but it comes, I guess it, because it goes like this, it kind of holds this path to go more this way, so it looks like it cuts more across here. And then it comes over here, creating another loop, while this current that comes down around here, I believe it just kind of swings up high and then swings down low. Some of it, of course, going over here, but like a good chunk of the main current along the outer edge being just staying along the edge. I'm just talking about shit. Sorry, Canada. Then I just start talking about it for no real reason. I don't even know what I was talking about except how the Himalayas are formed by a vibrating thing like that. Guys, get fine, get fine, get fine. I'll be back.